Hello, friends, family, supporters, and perhaps even some foes out there. Wanted to give a quick Coram Deo, Coram being presence of, Deo God, and that's the ALS, American Sign Language God. Coram, presence of Deo God, that we live in a place where we're completely surrendered to the eyes of the Lord. That's what Coram Deo Ministries is about, pastoring souls into this real devotion and hopefully pastoral care. And it's been so enjoying ministering to young ministers and to actually a couple of older ministers as well, but encouraging, empowering, processing. Some pastors just really want um, encouragement about the truth that they know and need to continue to share. So that's really been something I have really been enjoying doing. So I have offices at First Southern of Del City at 6400 in the discipleship building. I'm excited about that and being able to meet with people and meet with families. And then been doing also some online Zoom encouragement, pastoral care, coaching meetings. Of course, always with the whole idea of, what I have right here, freedom, realize, get my finger straight. Yeah, right there. Freedom, realize, right there. Uh, Live, the podcast I used to do, like the little things there's like voices, hopefully two different voices or more, in interviewing people, launching that, and the new book, Freedom Realize Lessons Learned, writing that, also doing some traveling and speaking, traveling here in Oklahoma, sharing in churches, but also abroad, North Carolina, California, probably maybe Seattle, or that area. Also, what would be Chicago and New York. Yeah, so there's been some doors that have opened. I also want to get back down to Florida, um, just because I have some really awesome friends down there that want me to go. I also went to Texas, been to Texas, going to Texas. So yeah, the Lord's opening up doors to publicly speak. But part of the exciting, uh, really new, not really new, but actually going back to the formation or foundation. When I first got saved in 1983, the Lord quickly showed me within 3 months I would be called into ministry. And I was at an Arthur Blessed meeting that summer, and I remember being called into missions. And I thought I would be going to Haiti or Jamaica, and that's just both of those places are still possibilities. But I feel like the Lord is calling me to go to the Middle East, and part of that will be Israel. There's some other places, and I will mention India and Africa, Pakistan, um, where and when I will not mention, um, except for supporters in closed atmospheres of communication, because obviously you need prayer covering and going into some of those places. So I'm excited about that, and I really just wanted to give a little bit of an update of coming out of all the change and the sadness that brought. Was totally unexpected what took place, and yet getting my bearings and getting back up on my feet and writing and I'm excited about this new chapter. My pastor said, when I started this process back in April, he says, it sounds like you've got your freedom realized. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I think you got your freedom realized because you had to be removed to find more freedom and for you to realize it. And I was like, wow. And it seems like that's what the Lord is doing. And so I'm excited about that. His ways are not like our ways. Um, yeah, I'll have more to say about all of that in the future. I am looking forward to interviewing some really dynamic people that have communicated that they will be coming on when I launch Freedom Realize. Um, and then my book, Freedom Realize Lessons Learned, writing that. And my kid is like, Dad, you need to get that chapter out. The one on a history lesson on my time in ex-gay ministry, because there's so much brokenness and so many things I've learned in 35 years of being exposed to ex-gay ministry. I was the chairman of the ministry council of Exodus when it closed. I was on the development of the council and the first board of directors with Restored Hope Network. And in both of those places have seen some very interesting things, to say the least, right now. And then 32 years full-time in a local ministry called First Stone. And so, yeah, I've seen a lot and a lot to write about concerning why the church and why other ministries don't trust ex-gay ministries. I've literally had people say, well, I don't trust ex-gays. They're not stable. They're not, a lot of them have great testimonies, but they're wishy-washy and many fall away. And that's a fair condemnation. And lots to talk about some of the reasons in my own experiences why. And so that will be, I had someone on the phone today and I was telling them about that. And I'd buy the book just for that one chapter. And I said, yeah, it's going to be an interesting chapter. And I will name names in that as well. And look forward to getting this new book out. And yeah, just a lot of really great things are going on and feeling the provision and the excitement of the Lord. So if you want to connect with me, you can go to Freedom Realized, freedomrealized.org is my book page if you wanted to connect that way. But also, I'm having a Zoom moment here and trying to figure out where did my Zoom go. But anyhow, there we go. The ministry website is stephenblack.org. And so that's pretty easy to get to. And on that website, let me just go ahead and share the screen. You'll have these sliders right here. And the first one is on Coram Deo Ministries. And so you click on that and it's what's Coram Deo. And then right here is the vision and mission and calling. And then my last two ministry updates. And you can directly link right here with IMF to my support page to support me in this new work. And so that's all right there at stephenblack.org, or you can click on the donate tab and it explains all that as well. I've had some people that have said now, when I fill that out, it goes to another like Bloomingburg Kindly. And that is a process that IMF uses. And so it's okay. It's not a bad site. It's part of the donation. and then they send me reports and stuff like that. So I get to see it on a weekly basis. So anyhow, I just wanted to let you know that I'm enjoying getting back up my bearings from the grave difficulty that I've come out of. I had some really great therapy and counseling, and from the trauma that I went through, and I'm so excited about having a multitude of counselors. There's victory, right? When you give all the paperwork over to people and you say, help me to see this, help me to see. And people are like going, wow, wow. And realizing, realizing these kinds of things happen in the church at large, and we're dealing with lots of hurt souls hurting others, selfish ambition, even people propagating lying, believing lies, motivation of lying and manipulating. You know, if you tell a half truth, it's still a lie. You're a liar. And then, you know, lying, covering up sin, like the International House of Prayer, that debacle, actually working with a couple of people who have been devastated from what happened with Mike Bickle. One man said to me, he says, well, if Mike Bickle lives a dual lifestyle like that, then what's the hope for me to ever be free? And you know, that's a really weighty question, in that, how do you pastor a soul who is now devastated by leaders that they were following? And so a lot of people are grieving, a lot of people are hurting. I tell you, it's best to know that we never trust in man, and that we trust fully in the Lord. And you can't even, ironically, even trust people that you thought were your friends at times. People will betray. And so hard lesson, but in that is also a cultivation of loving people, even people who have sinned against us, is to forgive them. Not that we don't need boundaries. Boy, well, I have some boundaries. But committing the pain, the hurt, sorrow of whatever you've gone through, wherever you're hurting with the church at large, people, family. You know, like I mentioned before in the past couple of videos, these families that are dealing with the betrayal of children and the level of pain that parents are going through. I was on the phone with a parent today, and the level of just grief and sorrow that we as parents carry when our children are prodigals. And so there's a lot of encouragement and empowerment that needs to happen. And so that's a big part of what I'm doing, and look forward to continue to do. And I am so grateful for you, for those of you who want to connect and are connecting and are sending me notes, sending me encouragement, and honestly sending the much needed financial support in starting over 32 years of ministry and now starting all over. And it's like, wow, this is quite an adventure. And so all the travel fund I had was taken away, and so had no actual balance of travel monies or any of that. It was all taken away, which a couple of supporters are not happy about that. But it is what it is. So this is all starting over to actually also in the idea of Coram Deo is to live in integrity. And there have been, just much need of integrity in the church at large. So that's a little update. I'm excited about what the Lord is doing. Thank you for praying. I really need prayer covering, praying for my wife, my children, adult children and grandchildren. And yeah, these new adventures, endeavors to be, first and foremost, pleasing to God. And then in pleasing to God, I'll be pleasing to some of the people some of the time, especially truth lovers, and then to be pleasing to Him in doing what I'm supposed to do. So thank you for your prayer covering, and God bless you.